And we're going to get going here. If you have a strap handy, make sure have it close by. And if you don't have one, no worries. I'd like to do a little shoulder stuff today too. And we're going to start seated. So if you know that it's hard for you to sit tall, always nice to sit up on something. And not necessary. You can grab a blanket or a block. Let's start with our right shin crossed in front. And then let's physically take our hands and roll the inner thigh towards the outer thigh. So kind of spreading across the sit bones on both legs. So you're just getting a little wider. And then before we come into a place of stillness, let's roll the shoulders back a few times. And then roll them forward. Roll back again. And then allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. You can take your hands on your thighs. Make sure that the shoulders don't start to creep up around the ears. So you can just imagine that I'm there, gently pressing down on your shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. So the start of a new week, the final week of the month. So do that a few times with each exhale. You're letting the to-do list go, anything that might be stressing you out. You're just putting it aside for the next little bit. And then as you feel ready, just find that gentle rhythm of your Ujjayi breath. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. You're going to start to create that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. Really allow your attention to go there as much as possible. And starting out especially, you're going to get distracted. That's okay. When your attention travels to sounds happening in the room that you're in or to the thoughts coming into your mind, once you realize that that's happened, come back to your breath. Maybe as you exhale, really send your breath down into your sit bones so you feel really anchored into the ground underneath you. And that anchoring feeling helps you to sit a little taller. Just soaking up this quiet. It's so nice to give ourselves these little breaks. All right, so gently blink your eyes open as you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Then we're going to interlace our fingers. Just notice what index and thumb is on top. You're going to bend your elbows and just release your hands to the small of your back, or neck rather, to the back of your head. You can press back on the elbows a little bit. Try to get a little more widening, opening across the front of the chest. It can feel pretty intense starting out. You're going to feel this in the shoulders as well, the armpit area, outer arm, and then take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, we start to release the right elbow down. Inhale to center. Exhale, release the left elbow. Couple more like that, just moving with the breath. Inhaling. Exhale, release down. Inhale to center, still sitting nice and tall here. Exhale, release left side. And then inhale to center. Exhale, release that right elbow down. And then we're going to release hands. We're going to start to side bend here. Really root into that left sit bone. You can walk that right hand out as far as feels good. You might move towards that forearm. Not necessary that you get there. I'm going to feel this nice stretch to the left side. As you're doing that, can you roll these right ribs up a little more? Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm if it feels okay to do so in the neck. Sometimes starting out, it can feel a little intense. Breath smooth and steady. Good. Take a nice deep inhale. And then we're going to unwind here. So we're just going to forward fold and a little twist. You might have to walk out a little bit. So kind of just stretching your arms forward. You can spread the fingers, press down into all 10 knuckles. And then you're trying to wrap these left ribs down towards that right knee. Maybe even let your head go. So your knee, your nose comes towards that right knee. Let's walk to center. Stay in the forward fold. So a couple of breaths here. Might be feeling a little stretch on that outer right hip. And then go ahead and walk your hands in. Extend your legs to straight. Give them a little shake. And then recross with your left shin in front. Roll those shoulders back a few times if that feels good. And then rooting into your sit bones, sitting nice and tall, hands on your thighs. Allow your eyelids to close. And just take a moment here, returning to that sound of your Ujjayi breath again. Maybe already it's starting to feel a little easier. It's pretty amazing how quickly, once we bring our attention to the breath, how it does really have this calming effect, this quieting effect on the mind and the body. Let your shoulders release down if they've started to creep up around the ears. And then you can blink your eyes open. Inhale, stretch the arms up, and then interlace your fingers again. So put the opposite thumb and index finger on top. So the way that feels funny, it doesn't matter if you do the same side twice. The world will keep spinning. And then stretch your palms up towards the ceiling. Wrap your inner arm towards your outer arm. So feeling that gentle stretching across the backs of your shoulder blades, the front of your chest. And then we start to exhale, bend the elbows, take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, drop off to the left. Doesn't have to be very far. Inhale to center. Just a couple of these moving with the breath. You release down on your exhale. Come back up on the inhale. Good, and then just holding here when you're off to the left. Really anchor into your right sit bone. We're kind of like halfway to the shape. Just release your fingertips. Root down into that right sit bone. Find that length through the right side. You can come down onto that left forearm if that's happening in your body. You're spinning those left ribs up towards the ceiling a little bit. Maybe you're gazing up underneath the top arm. Breath doesn't skip a beat. That inhale through your nose and that exhale through your nose. Good. One more deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we're kind of just off to the left here. So back out a little bit if you need to, but just finding this little forward fold twist. Can spin these right ribs down towards this left thigh. And again, if you wanted to let your neck release here, sometimes that can feel really good to just let it round and go. And then start to walk to center. So a little forward fold down the center again. So with the left shin crossed in front, you might be feeling this a little more in your outer left hip. Always just paying attention to the sensations that you're getting in your body. Good. As you inhale, roll on up here. And then again, just give the legs a little shake out. And then let's flip to our tabletop and get the props out of the way. And right away, let's just move into a little cat-cow here. So with your shoulders over your wrist, fingers spreading, knees under your hips as you inhale, you arch into your lumbar. So chest comes forward through the gates of your shoulders. As you exhale, you round and confirm down into the tops of your feet, your shins. And maybe you're closing your eyes here. So you're just moving at a pace that feels really good to you today. You're paying attention to your spine. You're noticing how things are feeling. Where is there a sense of ease? Where is there a little congestion? Just noticing, and we're going to observe how all of this changes as we continue to work the next 50 minutes or so. Let's inhale, come back to a neutral spine, and then let's just do a little bird dog here to start to get into the core, wake that up, work with our balance a little bit. So as you inhale, let's do right leg, left arm lift. Keep hips nice and even, toes point down, exhale, release. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Gaze is an inch or two in front of your fingertips, exhale, release. Continue like this. We're gonna do 3 complete cycles. So you just moving at your pace. So when you're moving towards the start of that 4th round, you're going to keep your right leg and left arm lifting. So we're going to hold it a little bit. All right, so I'm going to flip around here. So right leg, left arm lift. So keep your right leg extended, curl those toes underneath on the mat, and then release that left hand down. We're going to start to firm down into that left shin, seal into the back edge of your right leg, find a little modified Vashistasana. See if you can lengthen more through the underside of your body here. So find length through that left side waist. Let's take the top arm up and over. It's kind of a little lateral stretch here too. Very similar to what we did sitting down. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. Good work. One more deep inhale. Exhale, you unwind. And from here, we inhale, lift the left leg, right arm. So a couple of breaths, feel the outer hips squeeze in. Wait, is that right? Okay, this is the side I need. So go ahead and lower, keep that leg, lifted leg extended, but bring your toes to the mat. So it's really active, it's in plank pose. Feel that. Release your right hand down. Good, roll to the inner edge of your left foot. Start to open up into your modified Vashistasana. Confirm down at the tops of your that right foot, that right shin. Shoulder blades are stacking on top of each other. Lengthen more this underside of your body, and then take your left arm up and over. Maybe bringing your gaze up underneath your top arm. Are you holding your breath? Definite balance pose here. Sometimes we hold the breath to help us find that balance. Keep the breath moving. Good deep inhale. Exhale, we unwind. Give yourself a little more space for your downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward a couple of inches. Curl your toes under. Or maybe start with a really big bend in your knees here to pull your sit bones up towards the ceiling. And then just find any movement that you like. So maybe pedaling back and forth between your hips. It can feel good to shift hips side to side. Sometimes it just feels good to be in a place of stillness. So that's always an option as well. And just kind of do what you need to do here. Maybe peek between your hands, make sure that your arms are about shoulder distance apart, your fingers are spreading evenly. And then as you release your head back, so you're gazing between your feet, you're just checking to see that they're hips distance apart. These first several downward dogs of the day, they might have, you might have a bend in your knees. You might have a bend in your knees throughout the practice, especially if the lower back is tight, if the hamstrings are tight. From here, let's inhale. Use our belly and our hips to pull us forward. So we land in our plank pose. So both legs really active. Use your legs more than you think you can. See if you can widen across the front of your heart a little bit. So feel those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Gaze an inch or two in front of your fingertips. Your body might start to shake a little bit here. 2 more breaths. Stick with it. And then for this first one, we're going to just lower to our knees. As we exhale, elbows bend. We hover at halfway. Gaze is still forward. And then land in one piece on your belly. Bring your arms by your side. Land on your forehead. Roll a little bit to the outer edges of your feet so legs are active and our thighs are spiraling up. As you inhale, head, chest, arms lift. Feel the shoulder blades really squeeze in towards each other. It's like you're trying to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades. Good. Exhale, lower down. You can stick with that variation if you'd like to interlace your fingers at the small of your back, if you have the flexibility in your shoulders to do that. You can take that variation this time. If you're doing fingers interlaced, little bend in the elbows is nice. It's actually going to give you a deeper stretch in the shoulders. So as you inhale, head, chest, maybe arms start to lift. And then if you'd like to add your feet here, can do that. Try to lift the legs as much as you're lifting the chest or vice versa. One part of the body is always easier for us. Good. Let's keep everything lifted. If your fingers are interlacing, release. And then just bring your fingertips underneath your shoulder heads. Place your feet down. Exhale, lower your head and chest down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, lower here. Good. Inhale, lift. Let's curl our toes under here. So fire up the legs. It's like you're in plank pose. And then lead with your hips, pull with your belly. Just pull back, downward facing dog. You can use your knees if you need to. And then from here, start to walk your feet forward to meet your hands. When you get to the top of your mat, let's just do a little standing cobra. So as you inhale, chest extends forward, hands come forward, fingertips can be on the floor or hands on shins. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, lengthen. It's exactly that same feeling that we just had in our low cobra. Exhale, fold. Just a slightly different configuration. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, fold in. Press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together. Your heart, few rounds of our half Surya Namaskara. So inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest lengthens forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, fold. Good. Press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together. Your heart, 2 more on your own, moving with your breath. You can close your eyes if that feels good. So take up space, move as quickly or as slowly as you would like. Let these feel really fluid and graceful. And then just gently warming everything up. You all know how I feel about these. I love sun salutes. It's hard to be grumpy when you're doing a sun salute. In my humble opinion. All right, so nice work. So we're going to add on a little bit here. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge, forward fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward. We're just going to step our left foot back, land on that knee. Inhale, rise up. So crescent pose, maybe press palms, gaze up. As you exhale, hands plant, so you can be on your fingertips. Think Cobra pose in your upper body. And then we're going to step our right foot to meet our left foot. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, shift forward, maybe use your knees again. Otherwise, full plank, lower halfway, chaturanga, onto your belly. This time, inhale into your low cobra. If you're ready for an upward facing dog, drag your hands back a lot, wrists underneath your elbows. Press into the tops of your feet, press into your hands, straighten your arms. From here, we roll over our toes into downward facing dog. And you're going to inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. Land on that right knee. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. Inhale, low crescent pose, couple of breaths. So feeling a nice stretch in the front of this right leg. Maybe you gaze up, press palms together. And then as you exhale, palms come to the floor, curl right toes under, step your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. All right, this time let's inhale, reach up. Right fingertips, left wrist, exhale, side bend. Good, inhale to center. Exhale, left fingertips to right wrist, side bend to the left. Back up to center. Good, as you exhale, fold in. Good, inhale, lengthen. Left foot stays forward this time. Land on that right knee. Rise back up. Really squeeze the outer hips in, and then we're going to side bend to the left again. So you want to feel these outer hips squeeze in, lower belly pull in and up. That's going to help give you a little stability in this pose. Good, come back to center. Exhale, release your hands, curl your right toes under, keep your gaze forward, step back to your plank pose. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, maybe come to your knees, shift forward on toes, lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward facing dog. Exhale, pull back to your downward facing dog. As you inhale, your right leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through, land on your left knee. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. Rise on up. Feel the outer hips plug in. They squeeze in towards the midline. Right fingertips, left wrist, and then side bend to the left. Keep spinning those right ribs up. It's a little of that Vashistasana side plank pose feeling. Really nice work. We inhale, come back to center. As we exhale, hands plant, we curl those left toes under. Step that left foot to meet the right foot. Inhale, chest lengthens. Good, exhale, fold in. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Good, as you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Let's just do 3 rounds of our regular Surya Namaskara A. So just building a little more heat, nice and simple here, just classic. As we inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, right foot back, then left on the same exhale, lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. You can modify how you want to. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just take 3 breaths here. Stretch the sit bones up towards the ceiling a little more. Firm the forearms in towards each other. Already notice how this is feeling a little different. And then as you inhale, come to your tippy toes, bend in your knees. You're still in your dog, gaze forward to where you're going. At the end of your exhale, you can step right then left. You can walk forward, run forward, hop forward. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Good, pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold and sit bones lift, inner thighs spiral back, neck releases down. Inhale, chest lengthens forward. Keep looking forward, bend knees, plant palms, left foot back, then right. On the same exhale, you're taking your chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make any little adjustments that you need to, and then find that place of stillness. Couple of breaths. All right, as we inhale, little bend in the knees, come to the tippy toes. End of your exhale, hop through, step left and right, walk through, run through, however you want to get to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold in. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Good, exhale, hands come together at your heart. So you know what we're doing? We're gonna meet back in our downward facing dog. So just moving here on your own. When you get to your downward dog, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And let's find a little twist here in our downward dog. So walk your hands, about a foot or so closer. And we're gonna root down into our left palm. We're gonna take our right hand to the outside of that left leg. And you're gonna wrap those right ribs to the left. Maybe look up underneath that left arm. If this is challenging, you can always walk your hands closer to your body. Good, go ahead and release your right hand. Good, and then left hand reaches to the outside of that right ankle. Wrap these left ribs to the right, find that twist. You're gazing up underneath that right arm. Breath smooth and steady. You should just be feeling this a little more intense in that outer right hip area. Kind of an asymmetrical stretch, so good for lower back, IT band stuff. All right, release, walk back. So walk hands forward so you're in that nice downward facing dog. And then let's inhale, lift our right leg. Exhale, shift shoulders over wrist, curl knee into nose. Inhale, pull back, three-legged dog. Exhale, shoulders over wrist, climb that right knee to your upper right arm or in that vicinity. Inhale, pull back. Good, exhale, same thing, shoulders over wrist, find the twist, left knee towards, or right knee towards left arm. Good, inhale, pull back. And then as you exhale, step your right foot through between your hands, heel toe it to the left a couple of times, spin into the back edge of your left foot. So right heel is intersecting that left arch. Windmill up and over, finding your Virabhadrasana too. So you might need to go a little wider with your stance. You want to make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle. And then feel your tailbone release down as the outer edges of the feet squeeze in towards the midline. And let's keep your gaze forward. And let's give ourselves a little hug here. So we're going to bring our right arm underneath so elbows can stack. You might bring the backs of your hands together, your palms to press. Wherever you're at, you start to lift your elbows, but sink in a little deeper. Breath smooth and steady. So let's inhale, press that right leg to straight. Parallel your feet. You might need to walk them in a little bit. Again, outer edges are squeezing in towards the midline. Take a deep inhale here, and we're going to do a little forward fold with our arms in this eagle pose variation. Even here, can you kind of reach forward through your hands, but keep your shoulder blades releasing towards your tailbone. Couple more breaths. You can let your neck go here. Observe if all the weight is in your heels. Just rock forward in your feet a little bit. And then with nice, strong legs as you inhale, rise on up. From deep within that right hip socket, turn that leg out to 90 degrees. Good, take a deep inhale here. So arms are still in this eagle variation. Exhale, sink in. Good, take a nice deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we're gonna start to side bend to the left. Release arms up and over, reverse warrior. Nice work, spinning left ribs up, gazing up underneath that top arm. Deep inhale. And then as we exhale, all the way up and over. So palms plant, spin onto your left toes. And your choice here, if you're starting to feel a lot of heat, you simply step back to your downward facing dog. Otherwise, if you want to create a little more heat, you take your version of your Chaturanga Vinyasa. Just moving nice and steady with your breath. We all meet back in our downward facing dog. Couple of breaths there. So we know where we're going on this left side. So let's inhale, keep lift our left leg, keep hips even, squeezing in. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, pull back, three-legged dog. Exhale, little external rotation, climbing left knee to upper left arm. Inhale back. Exhale, twist, so fun. Inhale, pull back. And then as we exhale, use all of that action to step that foot through, heel toe to the right. Spin into the back edge of your right foot, we're heel to arch. Inhale, windmill arms up and over, Virabhadrasana 2. So strong legs, big hip opener. You're pressing this left knee back. As this right hip releases down, torso is square to the long edge of your mat. So sometimes we hinge a little bit, make sure that that's not happening in your body. Breath smooth and steady. Feeling the tailbone release down, legs kind of squeeze into the midline, forming muscle to bone in your arms. Good. And then if you're not looking forward, go ahead and just bring your gaze forward. Give yourself that hug, left arm underneath. And stay here with elbows lifting. If it's available, backs of the hands, maybe palms press. So you direct your tailbone down, lift your elbows up. Feel your shoulder blades squeezing in and releasing down. Check in with your breath. So that nice inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Let's inhale, press that left leg to straight. Parallel the feet, maybe bring them in just a hair closer. Strong, strong legs. Weight evenly distributed in the feet as you exhale. Hinge forward, so nice little shoulder stretch here. Keep reaching your fingertips, your wrists forward. You're like lifting your elbows forward. So the same action that we were doing before, but we're just facing a different direction now. Notice if you're gripping your head a lot, see if you can let it relax. Couple more good breaths here. All right, outer edges of the feet squeeze in, activate your legs, feel your core. Inhale, rise on up. Keep the arms like this from deep within that left hip socket. Turn that leg out. Good, exhale. Bend into that left knee. Good, and then start to side bend to the right. And then you can release your arms. So right leg gently, or right arm gently down that right leg, left arm up and over. Maybe gazing up underneath that top arm. Reverse Virabhadrasana. Good. As you exhale, windmill up and over. And again, options, pull back, downward facing dog. If you want another Chaturanga Vinyasa, you can do that, just moving with the breath. We all meet back in our downward dog. We take a few breaths there. Good. And then as you inhale, find a little bend in your knees, come to your tippy toes. end of your exhale. You can step right then left, hop through, walk through. Inhale, lengthen forward. Good, exhale, fold in. Press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. Good, as you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Let's just do one more like full cycle of a little flow sequence here. So as you inhale this time, knees, then arms reach up, Utkatasana, chair pose. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, chest lengthens forward, gaze comes forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, left foot back, then right. Take a chaturanga vinyasa with your breath or pull back to downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. This time, spin into the back edge of your left foot. So we're going to rise up Virabhadrasana 1. As we exhale, we're going to bring palms to heart center. Walk your right foot to the left. Open up Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Inhale, find your reverse. Exhale, forearm to right leg. Extended side angle, roll those right ribs up. Inhale, back into your Virabhadrasana 2. As you exhale, hands come up and over, step to downward dog or to your plank pose, taking a chaturanga vinyasa. And then we take that second side. So as you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through, spin into the back edge of your right foot. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1, hips are facing forward. As we exhale, we open up, so walk left foot to the right. Inhale, find your reverse warrior. Exhale, left arm to left leg, right arm up and over. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale here, downward facing dog or your chaturanga vinyasa, whatever feels best in your body. And as we pull back to our downward facing dog, we're all going to just drop to our knees, take a quick little child's pose. So a little mini break, an opportunity to catch your breath, just a little more standing stuff here, but let everything slow down right now in the meantime. And then let's find a twist in this child's pose. So start to walk your hands off to the right. So you're laying your torso out over that right thigh. Good, walk back to center. And then hands off to the left. Good, walk back to center. Good, roll on up. Make sure that you have enough room for your downward facing dog, so you might need to bring your hands forward. Good, curl your toes under. Shift your hips back. Downward facing dog. So from here, let's inhale, lift our right leg up. And then as you exhale, you're going to step that foot through. We're going to find a twist here. So your option, you can keep this back leg lifted. You can lower it down to the floor. Root down into your left palm. Shoulder is over wrist. Deep bend in that right knee. Start to open up. So our upper body is in Vashistasana here. We're going to give you the opportunity to transition back to Vashi if you want to. Otherwise, you're just staying in this nice twist here. Fire up that left thigh a lot. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. Breath smooth and steady. Feel your shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. So if you want to make the Vashistasana transition here, you can stay in the twist if that's you. If you would like to, roll to the outer edge of that left foot. Keep that left hip lifted up and then just lightly place that right foot back. Maybe take your top arm up and over. Good, release down. If you're still in the twist, just step back to your plank. From here, you pull back downward facing dog. Chaturanga vinyasa. If you're still feeling like you would like a little more heat. And then we take that to the second side. So inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through. Again, option to have that back knee down. Right hand roots underneath your shoulder. Your hand could be on a block. Press to the inner edge of this left foot. As you inhale, start to open up here. So shoulder blades stack on top of each other. Sometimes this top arm can lean back a little far. Not anything wrong with it, but just see if you can get your shoulder blades to stack instead. This back leg can get a little lazy. The more you firm that hamstring up towards the ceiling, the more stability you're going to have. So great place to be. You could stay here like this if you want to play with that transition to your Vashistasana. Roll to the outer edge of that right foot. Keep that right hip lifted, and then place that left foot back. Take your top arm up and over. Nice work. If you are in your twist, step back to your plank pose. If you're in your Vashi, unwind. And then Chaturanga Vinyasa if you would like. Otherwise, you're just pulling back, downward facing dog. Nice work. So when we get here, let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. Good, as you inhale, a little bend in your knees, come to your tippy toes. End of your exhale, lightly hop through. Step left, then right. Inhale, chest lengthens. As you exhale, fold in. Good, inhale, knees bend, arms reach up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take an inhale here. Keep pressing vigorously. As you exhale, hinge forward, twist to the right. Hook left elbow to the outside of that right thigh. Make sure that this right hip isn't creeping forward a lot. It's going to drag that knee back. If you'd like to split your arms here, you can do that for a breath. And then let's exhale, bring palms back together. We're going to transition back to our twisted crescent pose. So start to shift the weight into your right foot. Reach your left leg way back. You might fall out getting there, no big deal. So adjust as you come into this pose. Again, if you want to split the arms for a breath or two, feel free. That's not better, just a different variation. And then let's bring our hands back to heart center. Gaze forward, nice and light. Step back to your twisted chair pose. Deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind. Let your legs straighten. Let your head release down. Just take a few breaths here. So those twists are challenging. Of course, Utkatasana is really challenging. So the two combined is like double doozy. All right, here we go. So as you inhale, knees bend, arms reach up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. They're vigorously pressing there. Deep inhale. As you exhale, start to twist to the left. Keep drawing that right hip, knee back, right elbow to the outside of that left thigh. Maybe you're gazing up over that left shoulder. If you want to split your arms for a couple of breaths here, and you're in pretty deep, you can do that. Palms come back together. So you stay in the twist. I find it's helpful for me to look forward. So all of the weight begins to shift into that left foot. Use your belly, your core, to help you step that right leg back. And then if you wanted to split your arms here, I don't know about you all, but I'm feeling this. Good. Palms press again. So gaze slightly forward, nice and easy. It ain't no thing. Step forward. Good. As we exhale, we unwind.
Maybe just kind of walk your legs out a little bit here. So bending into one knee and the other might feel good.
And let's do our little standing kind of hip stretch here. So you can bring your chest up to halfway. Let's take our right leg, cross it in front of the left. So just crossing at your ankles. You might want blocks here. This can be really intense. And then start to hinge forward, fold in. And so just this nice little asymmetric stretch gets into the outer hips in a really nice way. If you want to start to walk your hands off to the right, so walking towards a leg that's crossed in front, that just might shift where you're feeling things. Good, walk back to center. And then just uncross that right ankle and left ankle comes in front. So this shifts the work to that outer right glute, hip area, hamstring, behind the knee. So it's a nice deep stretch. Fold in as much as you can. And again, you might have hands on blocks. That's absolutely okay. And one side can be significantly tighter than the other. So definitely use props if that's your side. You can stay here like this if you're getting enough. Maybe walk hands off to the left. Good, come back to center. All right, uncross that left ankle and then find a nice deep bend in your knees. So let your head really release down. And then like a little ragdoll, start to roll up. When you get there, again, just roll your shoulders back a few times. And then from here, let's come onto our backs. Let's just do a little bridge pose, and then we're going to do just some supine hip stretching here. So landing with your knees bent, ankles underneath your knees, arms by your side. Let's just move with the breath a few times here. So as you inhale, press into your feet. Start to lift your hips up. You're extending your tailbone forward. Exhale, lower down, nice and easy, one vertebra at a time. So see if you can really articulate that in your spine. You don't have to be lifting very high here starting out. We're pretty warm though, so you might be. Notice if your toes are turning out. It's hard to feel sometimes. See if you can find that feeling in your mind's eye. Where am I in space? Sometimes we start to press more to the outer edges of the feet here in this bridge pose as well. So you want to make sure that you're feeling your arches lift. This is, our legs are in Tadasana, our mountain pose. Let's start to add the arms here. So the next time you're lifting, inhale, arms reach up overhead, thumbs might hit the floor. And then as you exhale, you release down. Continue like that a few times. And in this bridge pose, you always just want to be gazing straight up at the ceiling. So turning head side to side, there's a lot of weight on the neck and shoulders. So that can be bad, especially if you do it often enough. And just keeping everything nice and symmetrical. All right, so the next time your hips are lifted, leave them there. But as you exhale, release your arms by your side. Couple of options, grab the outer edges of your mat, roll to the outer edges of your shoulders, or maybe you interlace your fingers underneath you. And then in this nice full variation of our Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, it's as though the shoulders are becoming feet. So you have these 4 points pressing down into the earth, helping you to find that nice back bend and lift. Take a few more breaths like this.
Good, deep inhale. As you exhale, release your hands, release the sides of the mat. Lower down here. And then let's just come up into one more. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can do what we just did, lift up classic interlace underneath you or hold the edges of the mat. If you want to do more of this robot pose, so bending at your elbows, pressing vigorously into the upper arms, and then lift. Sometimes that helps you feel like you're getting a little more into the thoracic. So you can play with that variation if you would like as well. It's like your chest is melting towards your chin. Again, feel those arches in your feet lift. The legs are really active. Your inner thigh is spiraling down as your tailbone spins forward. Breath, smooth and steady. Good, one more deep inhale. See if you can lift a micromillimeter more, maybe just a thought more. And then we exhale. Release down. And we're going to take our right ankle. We're going to cross it above our left knee. Flex that right foot a lot. Take your right hand, just gently press into that right thigh. Just finding a little more of that hip opening. If you feel like you're not getting much here, start to bend your left knee into your chest. Right hand goes through this triangle you've made. You can interlace your fingers around left thigh or left shin. And you can use the strength of your arms to gently pull that left leg in towards your chest a little bit. You might be wedging your right elbow into that inner right thigh, pressing forward. That's going to intensify the stretch. Okay, so take a nice deep inhale. We're going to release the left foot down if it's not there already. So keep your legs like this. So the right ankle is crossed over. We're going to roll to the outer edge of the left foot and then stamp down into that right foot. Your arms are out in a T shape, and then maybe you roll onto that right cheek. So just kind of a funky little twist. That right hip plate will be lifting up off the mat. This variation can feel nice sometimes, a little different than what we usually do. And of course, if it isn't working for you, you can just release your right knee on top of your left knee, more of a classic twist. All right, let's inhale up to center. Uncross the right ankle. You can release your arms by your side. So left ankle crosses above right knee. Flex that foot a lot. It engages the muscles around the knee, protects that joint. You can take your left hand into your left thigh, gently press forward. Side to side, these poses can be really different. So if this feels like enough for you, you stay here. Otherwise, you come in a little deeper. So interlacing fingers either around your right thigh or shin, and take that left elbow into that left thigh. So pressing forward, even as you're drawing your right shin closer to your chest. So kind of all of these little opposite actions happening, which is what makes these poses feel so good. Breath smooth and steady. You're probably observing that your breath is shifting a little bit. It's stretching out, slowing down. Maybe you've let go of that ujjayi. That's all good. Good. So if that right knee is squeezing in, just release down, arms in a T shape. We're going to roll to the outer edge of the right foot.
And then stamp into that left foot. You can see my left sit bone is lifted, so my hips aren't exactly stacking, but they're not pressing down into the floor either. You can just gaze out over your left fingertips. Good. Inhale up to center. Uncross, give knees a squeeze. Maybe you want to come into a quick little happy baby, grabbing the outer edges of your feet, gently pulling down, flattening the lower back. And we are moving towards our Savasana. So, assuming your lower back feels good, classic Shavasana is really nice. Otherwise, sliding something under your knees or bending the knees and allowing them to knock in towards each other. Arms out nice and wide. Feel your shoulder blades heavy. Feel that openness across heart and chest. And then soak up these final quiet moments. Take rest. So let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Begin to bring some movement back to your body, wiggle, stretch. And then staying soft and quiet, you're going to roll to one side or the other, find the fetal position. Using your hands, just press yourself up to seated position. So ending in Sukhasana. So this is where we started. Notice how it feels different. Hopefully it feels a little easier to sit here. It's a little more strength, a little more ease, a little more space. Notice how your breath is different, steadier, a little deeper, a little richer. And then as a result of body and breath working together, notice how your headspace is shifted. Send yourself love and gratitude for making the effort today, for showing up. And just promise yourself that you're going to carry this into the rest of the day and the rest of the week ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart, bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today. Thank you.